Gemini has just released a new model called the Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental Model. With its amazing new features, it is claimed that it outpasses Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet and the GPT's O1 Preview and O1 Mini. So let's go ahead and test it out together if these claims are true. Alright, so let's get started. So the new Gemini 2.0 experimental model is only available in the Google AI Studio. So in order to use it, you have to go to aistudio.google.com, and from there you will land on a page that looks like this. On the right hand side, you can see that we have different options. And out of all of these options, we have to go to the model, click on the drop down menu and select the Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental Model in order to use it. You can see that it provides you a million token context window. There are a wide variety of tools like the structured output, code execution, function calling, and grounding, which you can set according to your requirements. So firstly, I'm going to test out the Talk to Gemini feature of the Stream Real-Time API. For that, simply click on it. Hi Gemini, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. How are you doing today?
Can you provide me information about today's weather in Islamabad?
I cannot provide you with real-time weather information. However, you can easily find that information using a weather app or website.
Can you tell me about the latest LLM which is released by Google?
The latest LLM released by Google is called Gemini. It's a multimodal model, which means it can process and understand different types of information like text, images, audio, and video. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about it?
Can you speak Urdu language?
I can understand Urdu, but I am not yet able to speak it fluently. Would you like me to try to translate something for you?
No, but can you say something in Urdu?
I can certainly try. Here's a simple sentence in Urdu. Mera naam Gemini hai, which translates to, my name is Gemini.
Le temps aujourd'hui est vraiment nuageux et froid.
It sounds like the weather is not very pleasant where you are. Is that your assessment of the weather today?
Can you tell me what I just said in French?
You said, le temps aujourd'hui est vraiment nuageux et froid, which translates to, the weather today is really cloudy and cold. Do you want to try another one?
आप कैसे हैं?
You asked, aap kaise hai? Which means, how are you?
Okay, so you can see that I asked it a wide variety of questions varying from the current weather to generic information like the current model which was released by Google. Then I asked it to say something in the Urdu language, which it said. After that, I provided it a sentence in the French language and it clearly understood it and provided answer on the basis of the sentence which I said to it. Then when I asked it a question in Urdu language, it provided me the correct translation of what is meant by that sentence in English language. So that's a really cool feature. So now instead of typing each time for each different question that we need to ask to the LLM, we can simply talk to it in the real time just like we are talking to a friend. Now let's go ahead and try out the Show Gemini feature to see if we can actually interact with the new Gemini model using our webcam and get real-time feedback. So in order to use it, you simply have to click on the Show Gemini button. What am I holding right now?
You are holding a box of Iberaya Folic 500 Gradumet. It is a controlled release iron, folic acid, vitamin C, and B complex supplement.
So you can see that it successfully identified the object which I was displaying to it using my webcam, and it not only identified the object, rather it also provided us information about what the product is, what are its ingredients and how you can use it. All that information in real time. Now I'm going to test out the third feature of the multimodal live API, which is to share your screen to show what you are working on. So for that, you simply have to click on this right here. From here, you have to select the screen which you want to share. And let's start the action. Can you tell me what this website is about?
Sure, this website seems to be called SkillCurb, and it focuses on technology tutorials. It says on the main page, become a better technologist and also learn skills to excel professionally. Would you like to explore more?
Yes, give more details.
Okay, it seems they offer tutorials on topics like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, DALL-E 3, Leonardo AI, Adobe Firefly, GitHub Copilot, Pixverse, and Runway. Is there any specific topic you want more details on?
Do they also provide certifications?
Yes, they do provide certifications. It looks like they have practice exams for AWS, GCP, Microsoft Azure, and Azure DevOps certifications.
Can you tell me what this page is all about?
Certainly, this page is for joining a private beta waitlist. It requests your email and asks if you can write basic Python scripts. It also asks if you'd like to receive emails about product launches and events. Is there anything else I can assist with?
So you can clearly see that it successfully viewed all the different screens which I was sharing to it and was looking at the content which was being displayed right here on my screen and was providing real-time feedback along with information which was being depicted on my screen. So the best use case for This particular feature is to use it while you are coding in real time and get feedback and have different type of suggestions to improve your code as well as get help in solving your errors. So here I have written a code which is actually to perform linear search to find a particular element in an array. So now I'm going to use this code to get real-time feedback and suggestions from the Gemini. Can you tell me what this code is about?
Okay, this Python code implements a linear search algorithm. It defines a function called linear underscore search that takes an array and a target value, and it searches the array for the target. Would you like me to explain further?
Let me just run the code, and if there is any error, then you might help me. Okay, let me first run it.
All right, you are going to run the code, and then we can take a look at the results. Feel free to let me know if you need anything.
Do you think the output is correct? It is saying the element is found at index 0, which is incorrect.
You are right. The output says the element was found at index 0, but based on the array 2, 3, 4, 10, 40, the number 10 should be at index 3. It seems there is an error in the linear underscore search function itself. Specifically, the code if arranged by less than equals target is causing this error. Would you like me to help you correct the code?
Yes, please.
Okay, the error is on line 4 in the linear underscore search function. Instead of if arranged by less than equals target, it should be if arranged by equals target, The code is returning index 1 if any value in the array is less than or equal to the target. Would you like to try that?
Okay, let me run it again.
Okay, I'll wait for you to run it again. Let me know what the output is.
It is saying that element is found at index 3.
Excellent. It is now saying that the element is found at index 3, which is the correct output. Do you have any other questions about this code?
Can you provide me step-by-step explanation for this particular code?
Sure. This Python code seems to be setting up a server for a weather application. It begins by importing a bunch of libraries, and then it configures logging. After that, it loads environment variables and sets up an API configuration for the OpenWeather API. Would you like me to explain more about these specific sections?
No, move further.
Okay, in this next part of the code, it sets up the base URL for the OpenWeather API, along with the default city, and endpoints for current weather and forecast. After that, it creates reusable parameters for making API requests and defines an asynchronous function called fetch underscore weather to get weather data. Do you have any questions on that section?
Yes, provide more details on the fetch weather function.
Okay, the fetch underscore weather function is an asynchronous function that takes a city as an input. It constructs the API request with the base URL, the weather endpoint, and includes the city in the parameters. Then, using an async HTTP client, it fetches the data from the API, checks if the response was successful, parses the data from the JSON format, and finally returns a dictionary with the temperature, conditions, humidity, wind speed, and a timestamp. Do you want me to elaborate on any part of the function?
I want to write code that can actually calculate the factorial of a number in Python. Can you help me write the code?
Yes, I can certainly help with that. To calculate the factorial of a number in Python, you can use a loop or recursion. Would you prefer an iterative or a recursive approach?
Iterative approach, please.
Okay, here's an iterative approach to calculate the factorial of a number in Python. Python, that factorial underscore iterative, n. Result equals 1. For I in range 1, n plus 1. Result.
You are going really fast. Please slow down.
Okay, I understand. Let's go slowly. So you can start by defining the function with the keyword def, followed by the name of the function, which is factorial, and it will take one parameter called n. Then you need to add a colon at the end of the declaration like this, def factorial, ente, and then hit enter.
Then
The def factorial and n line, you need to initialize a variable to store the result. So let's call that variable result. You can assign the value of 1 to it because that's the base for factorial calculations. So add this line result equals 1 on the next line and make sure that it's indented because it is part of the factorial function.
Then
Great. Now you will need to create a loop that will iterate from 1 up to n. And during iteration, you will multiply the current result by the loop variable. To do that, use a for loop and the range function. And then, inside the loop, perform the multiplication of result by the current number of the iteration. Python, for I in range 1, n plus 1. Result asterisk equals I.
I've written the code up till here according to your instructions. Now what should I write next?
Okay, I see your code. You have a function that calculates the factorial of a number. You will need to add a call to the function and print the result. For instance, after the print statement on line 6, you can add something like factorial 5 to calculate the factorial of the number 5. Is there anything else you need help with?
Like this?
Yes, I see the call to the factorial function. You've called the function with an argument of 5, which will calculate the factorial of 5. Do you want to run the program now?
Yes, I'm running.
Okay, I see that you've selected Run Python File from the menu. The code should execute in the terminal.
It is giving me error on line number 4.
Okay, I see the error in the terminal. It looks like you have an unbound local error because you are trying to access the variable factorial before it has been assigned a value. This error is happening on line 4 inside of the factorial function. To fix this, you need to initialize the factorial variable to 1 before the loop starts.
Yes, I did that. Okay.
Multiplying.
I fixed it and now it is giving me the answer that factorial of 5 is 120. Is this correct?
Yes, the factorial of 5 is indeed 120.
And in this way, you can see that it provided me instructions to write the code for calculating the factorial of a number from scratch. Initially, it was giving the instructions in a much faster speed, but once I asked it to slow down, then it managed its pace and provided me all the instructions really clearly and slowly so that I can write the code with it. And it also helped me in resolving the error which was occurring as a result of executing the code. So this is a really helpful feature provided by Gemini 2.0, which can help all the new coders and all the new developers in writing, debugging, and refactoring your code in order to increase its performance and efficiency. And here inside the Stream Real-Time API, you also have the recordings for all the different prompts which you have asked to it. And you can always go ahead and play any of the recording to watch the response of the LLM once again for the prompt which you asked it. So overall, the Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental model is a game changer in the field of LLMs. I'll highly encourage all of you to try it out for yourself and let me know in the comments what you think about it. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.